Welcome to TIPSTER, the 50th episode of TIPSTER, and well, we have another special guest, Brodie Nickson from Sky Racing. Myself, Mick Gannon, we're here to take you through all the winners of what was a huge February on thegreattipoff.com. Welcome, Brodie Nickson.
G'day, great to be here, mates. The Autumn Carnival's starting to heat up, and the tipsters are finding a few winners.
Absolutely, and yeah, speaking of heating up, good to see you've joined the team, and you got your tips on thegreattipoff.com. Plenty of people jumping on board, getting around those. How do we get involved in those, mate? Just to kick off.
Yeah, just jump into the Great Tip-Off, join the Brodie Nickson tips. Hopefully we can find a few winners coming into the carnival. Absolutely.
Easy as that, punters. You want my stuff? Search Mick Gannon. Away you go. Righto, Autumn Carnival in absolute full swing now. And, well, question for you off the top. Luke Hovannessian, our resident content and form guru, has asked the question, has the fangirl bubble popped? And, well, you know, that's a really fair question, and I think it's absolutely ludicrous to even ask it. But, Brodie, what's your opinion on fangirl?
I'm the same as you. I think it's a bit of a silly question. She's been beaten by a Nash Special from a horse that's won multiple Group 1s. And second up, slightly sticky ground, I don't think suited her. She had to round the field while the winner got all the inside runs. I don't know for you, Gano, but she lost no admirers whatsoever from me.
No, not at all. And she'll be winning third up, I'd say, assuming that the track's pretty fair. I don't necessarily know if it was the soft track. It was probably the issue more about the fact that it was a deteriorating soft track rather than improving. Might seem counterintuitive, that comment, but I think you can understand where I'm going with it. And I think if J-Mac had have been able to be a little bit closer and Nash didn't steal those couple of lengths underneath, I think it's a completely different story. But full credit to Nash. Really got the job done, and no doubt J-Mac will get the job done on the return clash there, unless, of course, Nash can be too good for him again. But hey, that's the great game of racing. Imperatrice, is she the best horse in the country, Brodie? Well, we're probably going to find out on Saturday. Is she the best sprinter in the country is probably the question we need to ask, because it's very hard to compare the likes of Mr. Brightside, Fangirl and Imperatrice when they're not clashing. But is she the best sprinter in the country as it stands, or does she need to prove herself on Saturday?
We've got the two best horses, but they're in different states, aren't they?
Yep.
We've got to think about it. We also have Imperatrice. I think she's the best horse in the race by far. Just having a look before we go on air, $2.70. If you like it, it's a fantastic price to take.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to throw a weird one out there. The camp said that she didn't quite handle the hot weather before she had that jump out, where she went, a lot of people said, quite poorly, and expecting big heat waves down in Victoria this week. So I think if you're going to take her on, it has to be this Saturday. But if you like her, you get the price.
You get the price. I think ESPN is the one that's well and truly over the odds, around the $7.50. The question mark is she's also accepted for the Canterbury as well. So let's hope that they zag when they should be, and there's no zigging going on there, and that they go take on, think about it. But I'd love to see Espiona down at the Newmarket, because I think she can win and she'll be able to make up that margin of, I think it was 0.7 lengths with a 3.5 kilo turnaround. I think she's the one in the Newmarket. Righto, you want to all in. You want to get our feature preview for all of those big races this Saturday, thegreattipoff.com on the YouTube channel. It's all there. Myself, Dean Watling, Lewis Willoughby, we covered off all those races. Leave a comment if you want in the box below. Leave a comment of some description. What kind of comment are we after? Well, let us know. I don't know. Horse to follow? What do you reckon? Horse to follow throughout the spring? Maybe even a tipster you have been following? Either of those two. Luke's going to choose the best comment, and he's going to give you a free trial to either Brodie's or my tip package. How about we just do one of each?
Maybe, absolutely. Maybe a surprise horse for the autumn.
There you go. That's what it's going to be. Give us a surprise horse for the autumn. Horse that can come out and win a Group 1 out of nowhere. I like it, Brodie. That's why you're here, and that's why, you know, I'm just following your lead. Mate, that's it. Let's get cracking. We're going to go have a big, hard look at who has dominated in February. Here we are, Brodie. Tipster of the month overall for February. This includes all the media tipsters and all the pros and punters out there entering their tips on thegreattipoff.com. And on top there, we have AR Tips, 209% profit on turnover, 52 tips at a strike rate of 11%. That's some going.
Fantastic going, and $26 average price. That is fantastic tipping.
Super stuff. And Starman, 08 with the pro status there, 95% profit on turnover, 55 tips. If you want to get his tips, go to that search bar, type in Starman 08, and away you go. That's a good average price.
Absolutely. $13 once again. The same for Zoff. They're at $12.06 with percentage and turnover 80%. Unbelievable stuff.
Love this. This is where I really like, this is what I like to see. Itchy Brother, not sure about the name, but 71% profit on turnover from 161 tips. Now, that's a lot of hard work going in here. That's a lot of tips. What's that? Probably averaging 3 to 4 tips a day. Super stuff, or even in February, closer to 4 tips, given when he had a few less days. But full credit to you, Itchy brother. That's some super stuff there. And our man Mark Porcheddu. He's a great man, Mark. He's done a couple of articles for us in the past, and he's absolutely dominated proceedings there, Brodie. And
another one, 62% profit on turnover. Obviously hard numbers to keep up, but if you can do something near that throughout a year, you're absolutely airborne.
Super stuff from all of you in the top 5 there. No doubt there's plenty of others that would have gone close to them. So head to thegreattipoff.com, go to that results page, go to that leaderboard, and you'll be able to see how everyone else fared for the month of February. Welcome back to Tipster. Here we are, Tipster of the month for the media. Unfortunately, we didn't quite sneak in there, Brodie. We couldn't have been too far away, but there's some big names up there and some new names as well. On top there, Ken Coram from Best Bets, 46% profit on turnover, 71 tips. That's a good area. That's probably why we didn't make it. These tips are all about 40, Brodie. But full credit to you, Ken. You've had an absolute fill-up in the month of February.
And Paul Rich is not far behind. Profit of turnover, 44% from 42 tips, striking about 20%, but he's got that better average price, just under $7.
Good stuff, good stuff. And you've thrown me the short ball here with John Takamura from The Telegraph, who's, he's been dominating proceedings there. 35% profit on turnover, 46 tips, at a nice little tidy strike rate of 30%. And I tell you what, John, you've seen them like beach balls.
And Linton Shadoway's just the same this year. He's flying.
He's a good man.
The Betfair gun, very, very good man as well. 33% profit on turnover for 45 tips, and he just continues to make money.
And, sitting next to a man that can do it all, and there's a man that can do it all down there in number 5, Ben Hall from Sky Racing. 25% profit on turnover, 43 tips, with a nice strike rate there of 39%. If you want to check out any of the media tipsters, go to thegreattipoff.com, go to that leaderboard page, and you'll be able to have a look. You can basically put them into the Great Tip-Off there. You can go Sky Racing. You can go to anyone you like, SEN, or you can just do them all and compare your favourite media tipsters on thegreattipoff.com. So here's the part of the show where you get free tips from those tipsters who have been absolutely flying. Up now we have Ben Walker, who's got a tip for us this Saturday.
Well, g'day punters, it's Ben Walker here from Sky Racing. I'm humbled to be asked by the boys to come on the show and give you a bit of an insight into how I go about doing the form and my story in racing. And for me, it started when I was a kid with my Nana Floss, my great-grandmother. On a Saturday afternoon, she'd give me a couple of bucks. We'd go to the tab, put the bets on, go home and listen to them and watch the Daily Double on Channel 9. So that's where I got my love of racing from, and it continues through to this day. So very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing in the sport. My methodology when it comes to finding winners, or hopefully finding winners, is to go through the fields and immediately just pick horses that I think can't win and put a line through them. Then look for patterns with the remaining horses and see where they fit in the race. So is a horse first up and it's performed really, really well first up previously? Is a horse, drawn an inside gate but doesn't have the speed necessarily to hold a spot and it's going to be caught in traffic? Those kind of things. Using the methodology that I've got, I've just had a quick look at the Challenge Stakes here on Saturday. We've got a small field of 7. Straight off the top, I'd say How's the Serenity and Zapateo are outgraded. The line goes through them from there. Marzu doesn't strike a wet track. We haven't seen the best of him for a while. The line goes through him, despite the fact that he's been a great horse for me on the punt over the years. That leaves us with 4. Aft Cabin, great horse, chock full of ability. 1,000 metres, probably not his trip, but he's going to be steaming through the line, you know that. So I'd probably just put the line through him, but just be mindful that he'll run well. That leaves us with Private Eye, Remark, Passive Aggressive. Private Eye's got the race fitness under his belt, and he's sticking at the 1,000 metres, and Joe Pride's happy to do that. That's a tick. Passive Aggressive, first up, last preparation. 1,000 metres, Randwick, beat Giga Kick and Eduardo, tick. Remark, flies fresh, tick. So I've narrowed it down to those 3. I'd probably lean to Private Eye with the race fitness under his belt. passive aggressive at the price that it is as the danger, just ahead of Remark, who's going to run an enormous race as well. So that's how I sort of go through it, work it out by a process of elimination and go from there. So hope that gives you a bit of an insight into how I go about things. Good luck to all the punters. Hope you all back a stack of winners over the Autumn Carnival.
And here we are, my man, Mark Porcheddu, with his best bet for this Saturday.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Porcheddu. I like doing the form for the Melbourne meeting on a Saturday. Friday night I sit in front of my computer, I open a Word document, I have the TAB open because I use the speed map from there, and I have racing.com open. I generally pick 4 or 5 horses, and then I look at the replay of their previous start, see how they went. I then take into account, whether they've run at the distance, what the race conditions are, if it's a good track, soft track, heavy track. Obviously weight comes into it as well. I'm very interested to see where I think they'll map in the run, and also what the tempo will be, because that's very important. I don't chase horses that haven't won for a long time, and I do like consistency. If they're first up, I'd like to see if they've had a trial or jump out. Not necessarily to see if they've done well, I just like to know they've had it. I also, my gut feeling comes into it if I can't split 2 horses for first place. I don't back a horse just because I backed it last start. Every race and every new meeting is a fresh start. Okay, I do this for my Facebook group on the punt. There's about 17,000 members, and I also do it for myself, obviously. I'm very big on form. I think that if you put the work in, then you'll get the results. Looking ahead to this Saturday at Flemington, I've looked at the 3-year-old fillies race, and I've come up with So Glamorous at double-figure odds. I think there'll be speed on in the race. Her previous start was really good, and if she can come from the back like that again over the mile, I think she'll be winning at double-figure odds. Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap for our 50th episode. I'm a bit disappointed, Brodie, that Luke didn't bring us in a cake of some description. So we'll be putting a complaint in with HR there. If you think we deserve the cake, let us know. Put some comments in below and give Luke a spray. We have heaps of more content coming up over the Spring Carnival. Myself and Dean Watling will be putting together a huge Golden Slipper preview in a couple of weeks. We might even get you along, Brodie, for that one. Be good to hear your insight as well. Take on the man with the man bun and the ponytail man, and see if you can do a job there in the Golden Slipper. All in, of course, that'll be out every Monday afternoon as well. Righto, Brodie's best mixed moral. You may as well kick us off. New ball to you.
Yeah, it's a tough day. I think that the Godolphin filly in the 2-year-old race at Randwick on Saturday, I'm not going to be able to pronounce her name. It's along the line of Somilion or something. It's Kematari's sister.
Okay.
She was outstanding in that really good form race at Canterbury behind Gatsby's, and I think she's going to be very hard to beat.
Yep, a stable that's probably been struggling a little bit, and they need to find their form. This is the right time of year to find their form, and this could be the one to get them ready to fire into the autumn. I'm with Espiona. I think if she goes down to that new market, she gets a 3.5 kilo claim. How am I going? 3.5 kilo weight swing, I should say, Brodie, on Imperatrice. And she didn't have a horse to follow into the race last time in the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes, and I think this time she will. I think there'll be a little bit more speed in the race, and if she can get a bit of a tag into the race, I think she's going to have a much, much better run this time. I think 1,200 metres is absolutely ideal for her. Second up, and her second up record is enormous. She may also be racing in Sydney. Gee, I hope she doesn't, Brodie. I'll tell you what, though, before we go, it isn't easy putting your tips out there, and we have just done that. We're always open to scrutiny, but poor old Trav Noonan, well, he copped a blast on old X the other day, formerly known as Twitter, with a tweet that goes like this. Hopefully today's Paketer meeting is a lesson for Trav Turf and RSN. What are your thoughts on that?
No meeting's ever easy. No meeting is ever easy, but Trav goes on to say he wasn't even doing Pakenham today.
Hashtag jinx as well. So
neither was his brother.
Yeah. Oh, well, we all have a mare occasionally, and just like our man there who had a crack at Trav did, we're not immune to making a mistake or 3. But no doubt Trav will be steering us into plenty of winners throughout the autumn, and hopefully we might see him up on the leaderboard at some stage. If you want Brodie Nickson stuff, thegreattipoff.com, search Brodie Nickson. You want anything of mine? Easy. Search Mick Gannon, thegreattipoff.com. Very, very simple. Leave your comments. Let us know who your horse out wide will be for this autumn carnival, and you'll be able to get a trial, a free trial. to Brodie or myself for this Saturday. Make sure you subscribe. If you don't do that, well, you can't get any of the action.
Absolutely, and your boys all in plays. You guys have been airborne, you, Louis, as well as Dean. So every Monday it comes out?
Comes out on a Monday. Don't miss All In. Until next time, gee, it's been fun, Brodie. 50th episode. Happy birthday. And we'll be back in April.